YNW Melly is currently looking at facing life locked up because of this. If you are a YNW Melly fan, make sure you watch this video until the end because this is something that you're definitely going to need to know. Also, if you are a YNW Melly fan, make sure you leave a like on this video right now, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you would like to join our iPhone X giveaway. Now, YNW Melly is honestly a perfect example on what not to do when you become a famous rap artist. YNW Melly literally had everything going for him. He had millions of streams coming in on his music daily, he had money coming in like crazy, and he literally had everything coming in that he could ever wish for in life. Well, until the month of October rolled around, that was his dream. But since the month of October rolled around, his two best friends, YNW Juvy and YNW Sakchaser, did pass away from what the police are saying was by YNW Melly himself. Now, ever since the police have claimed that Melly was the one who took out his two best friends, YNW Sakchaser and YNW Juvy, things have been pretty crazy in his life right now. And yes, you did hear me right. As of right now, the police are looking into the passing away of Sakchaser and Juvy, and they honestly believe that YNW Melly was the one who did it. Him and his friend YNW Bortland, you may know him, he kind of manages YNW Melly's personal things, I'm pretty sure. I don't exactly know what he does for YNW. I think he's just kind of in the team and just does some random stuff. Now, currently, as of right now, YNW Melly does say he is innocent. He did say he would never do that to his two best friends, but the evidence, which we will be showing you here in a second later in the video, so make sure you stick around. This is all pretty convincing that Melly is actually the one who most likely did it. But right now, the story is that YNW Melly was driving in a car with YNW Bortland. Bortland was the one behind the wheel at the time, and Melly was in the passenger seat. YNW Juvy and YNW Sakchaser were apparently in the back seat of the car. They came to a stop on a road where apparently Melly would turn around from the passenger seat, and that's where YNW Melly allegedly took them out. And then he hopped out of the car, and he tried to make it, the car kind of roughed up looking. They wanted to make it, appear as if a drive-by happened, so then, they can prove that they didn't do it, and so then they wouldn't face life locked up or anything like that. Basically, they wanted to lie, and so they wouldn't get in trouble. Now, after they made the car kind of look like it went through a drive-by and it was all roughed up, that is when Melly and Bortland decided to drive Juvy and Sakchaser to the hospital. And that's when they made the story that they got hit with a drive-by and that they needed help. Well, one thing that they didn't probably know is that people at the hospital, like the doctors and stuff, they can tell they can't really tell the exact time, but they can estimate how long, a body has been sitting for, if it's been taken out or anything like that. And allegedly, Melly and Bortland were driving around with Sakchaser and Juvy in the back seat for about 30 minutes after it happened. So, I mean, right there is another indication of some of the proof that, these guys have on Melly and Bortland. It is pretty crazy. Now, the evidence is currently actually pretty convincing towards YNW Melly, if I'm just going to be honest with you. Now, I do want to believe that he is innocent just because I am a huge fan of Melly, but sadly, honestly, it doesn't look like that's the way it's going to be. The first bit of convincing evidence is that Melly said it was during a drive-by from another car. Well, the police did their investigation and they checked all of the video cam footage on stoplights, which, in case you are unaware, if you are a driver yourself, the stoplights, you see at the intersections with the green, yellow, and red thing, yeah, well, those actually have cameras inside of them, and that's how actually a lot of people do get caught for running red lights and speeding. They'll receive a ticket in the mail. The police did search through all of the cameras, and they actually didn't see any car drive near Melly's and commit this act. Now, the next bit of evidence, which is the one that they're really reliant on, the police, is the fact that there was a bullet casing found inside of the car. And you may not be thinking it's much, but how a firearm works is when you fire one, there's the regular bullet that goes, wherever you're pointing, the firearm, but there is also a bullet casing which falls right where you fire it. You've actually probably seen it in movies a ton where, you'll see somebody unloading a clip, and basically wherever you fire it, you'll see all of those bullet casings fly out of the firearm in the back of it. Well, a casing was found inside of the car, so that means that a firearm must have been used within the car where Melly and Bortland was. And at the time, Melly did say he did not have anything on him when he, first went to the hospital with Sakchaser and Juvy to help them out. He didn't say he had a firearm. So the police are now wondering, how did this casing get inside of the car then? This doesn't make much sense. If you didn't have one, someone had to have had one. Melly did get caught kind of in a lie there, but we're still gonna have to wait and see how it all plays out. Now, another thing that was mentioned in the court case, which usually during a drive-by, was a lot of times the front of the car is usually what's targeted the most. It is kind of odd how the only 2 people in the back seat were hit. I mean, no one in the front was even hurt. Nothing at all with Melly and Bortland were even touched. So the police are seeming how it's kind of odd that the fact that the most famous person in the car, which was YNW Melly, in the front seat wasn't even touched. But the 2 guys in the back who, honestly, they didn't really have much of a following at all, were the ones that were taken out. It's happened many times where, even Tupac as an example, like, he was the one targeted, so they literally just went to his side of the car when he was with Suge Knight that night. Literally, it's supposed to be like that. It doesn't really make sense how the only 2 people in the back seat were taken out and Melly wasn't touched, and Melly is the famous one. But anyways, guys, I am going to be ending the video here. If you guys did enjoy, please leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Anyways, it has been District Trending, and I'm out. Peace.